take you through a 10-minute demo of the system. So we'll get right into it. I am happy to take your questions throughout or afterwards. We'll save some time for them at the completion of the 10-minute period here. So that'll be around 9:10 Pacific time, 12:10 Eastern time. But with so if you have questions, go ahead and type those into the GoToWebinar window, and we'll get to those then. For now, let's go ahead and get rolling. So we're looking at my timesheet actually from yesterday. So this is split up into two parts. First, I have my unbilled time. So this is time captured by Chrometa from my computer and then also from my phone that has not yet been categorized, which means Chrometa didn't yet know what to do with it. I do have time that Chrometa knew what to do with, and that is under my timesheet here. So to show you an example, I've got some time that's been automatically categorized to this client in this matter based on a certain keyword. So I'm going to show you how to set this up in a little bit. Okay, so back to, let's talk about categorizing unbilled time here. So first, what are we capturing? So on the computer, we are capturing time entries by application, and then what we're doing within that application. So within Microsoft Word, you can see the time that I spent working on various Word documents. This document I spent almost an hour on, and then just a couple quick hits on these other ones. Email as well. So for my Gmail time, we are capturing, as you can see here, the subject line of the email and the to and the from. So we're going to do the same thing for Microsoft Outlook entries, and we're going to do the same thing for MacMail entries. For all other email clients, we're most likely going to get the subject line only, but for Gmail, Outlook, and MacMail, we can get you the to from as well. So these are all roll-ups. So these are the total. This is the total amount of time that I spent on this email for the entire day, which is what I'm looking at. Where does this time come from? It is pulled from our timeline. So our timeline is a play-by-play, literally for every minute of the day. What am I doing and what was it? So that timeline is going to roll up to the next screen, the previous screen that I showed you, where we're consolidating all the time spent on an individual activity so that we can categorize it from there. But we can also do that from here. So actually, let me start with a shortcut here showing you how to categorize time from the timeline. So I've got a bunch of entries, but let's say from the 9 o'clock hour all the way to the 10 o'clock hour. I can identify this as kind of all the same activity. What I am able to do from here is I can move it to a project, so I can say this is going to go under this project. I'm going to give it an annotation here, so I can say that I was working on a document for Kevin. What this does is you can see on the right side here, buckets it all to the same category and then gives it all the same annotation. So when we go back here on the summary page, this time has now been moved down to my timesheet. We've rounded it up to on the 6-minute increment, so I now have a continuous 30-minute entry. I still have the original contents of that entry within here, but when I look at my timesheet level, I just have my annotation and it's all been grouped here. So that's one way to consolidate time, working from the timeline. Another way that you can do it is going to be from this view, from the summary view under our unbilled time here. So that Word document I showed you earlier that I spent nearly an hour working on, what I can do is I can also take that time, I can move it to a project. By the way, so we've got active search everywhere within the application, so you can just start typing in the name of the project that you want to move it to. We're going to pull up the name of the project then, and from there you can assign it and give it an annotation. So similar to what I just showed you on the timeline. Another angle you can take from here is if let's say I've got a name, I've got a keyword in the name of this document that is basically flags it that is I want that to always go to this project. What I can do is I can hit the second little overlay here. This is going to create a rule. So I could say that anytime I see, for example, this set of keywords, I can tell Chrometa that I always want to move it to this client, this project, and I even want to apply it to the past. So I can do a quick little preview, and this is going to show all of the entries that I'm going to capture with this new rule, and then what I can do is I can hit categorize and create a rule, and then what it's going to do is categorize this entry, and then all others like it, and then also do that going forward. So that's a nice way to automate the categorization of our time, so that when you do check it at the end of the day, end of the week, you've got more and more that's already assigned down to your timesheet here. If we have time that's assigned to our timesheet, not yet annotated, we can annotate it after the fact. So if I'm going to look at this entry, for example, here, a couple of websites that I can identify what the websites are from their description here. I don't yet have an annotation on the timesheet. I can just click the pen, and that's going to bring up an annotation field. And then again, this is where I can add that annotation right in here. Okay, so as we move time from our unbilled time down to our timesheet, where does it go next? So a few possibilities. If you want to print this out, you'll hit the print button. That'll give you it in a printable format. If you would like to export this to Excel, you'll just either hit the Excel export here or one of the Excel exports here. You can also export it to one of the third-party accounting, practice management systems, project management systems that we integrate with. So for example, if I'm a Clio user and I want to export these time entries out to Clio, what I'll do is hit the Clio button. That's going to send these time entries across the wire to Clio, create them there as if they were time entries created in Clio itself. And I can do that for an entire day. I can also do that for an entire week. Now let's talk about how I can set up individual integrations. Here's our full current list. You can find these under account integrations over on your left side. But what the process looks like is that to connect up with a system like Clio, what I'm going to do is connect it up once. It's going to ask me on the Clio side if I want to give Chrometa permission. So I do that once, and then under our project list, you're going to have a nice little button that says sync with Clio. So this is telling us that what I'll do is I'll hit this button. What it's going to do is it's going to sync with my Clio instance and then pull my client matter list over here so that I've got these available to assign time entries to them, which means that when I then am exporting back across the wire from the summary screen, we've got a consistent list then, and then it's going to place those back in those matters. Okay, so let's talk about mobile. We got a couple minutes left here. Here's some mobile entries from this morning from my phone. So these are text messages that I was sending out, receiving. These can get ported into Chrometa. We can bill for these. Phone calls, similar way. And then also mobile time spent on Gmail. We have a way that we can capture that time as well and import that into the system here also. For iPhone users, we can also do your, for certain carriers, the major ones in the U.S., so Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint, we can get your phone calls, we can get your text messages, port these in a similar fashion, but we integrate directly with your carrier in this case, since it's a little tricky, as you probably know, with Apple to do a lot of crazy stuff on the iPhone. If you're looking to add Chrometa to additional devices for tracking, or if you're looking to sign up for the first time, here's the page that'll do it from our website. So you can install on PC, Mac, Android, and iPhone. And then we're just going to capture the time spent on each one of those devices and then sync them up here. So that's going to be our process there. I will also show you how to get support since we're at the 9-10 mark. So if you have questions, go ahead and type those in now. I'm happy to answer those if there's anything you would like to see in more detail. Give you a couple seconds to do that. Show you how to get additional support. So we do support 6 days a week, so it starts on Sunday, goes through Friday, and includes holidays. So we had support on Monday, July 4th, earlier this week. Phone, email, and live chat. You can access chat lower right on the website, or lower right again within Chrometa itself. So if you have questions as you get started, let us know. We do have opportunities for one-on-one trainings as well, so if that's something that you're interested in, also let us know. So that'll go into more detail than I went into today, and also we'll talk about custom setup specific to your situation. So if that's of interest, let us know. And there's no charge for a complimentary session on the training side. But with that, I'll let everyone go. So thanks for joining. Hope it was helpful, and hope to hear from you soon. So please keep us posted, and have a great rest of your Thursday.